Hello everyone, I am Baltmatrix, and today we're taking a look at Transformers Core Class Snarl, specifically, and this is from the Legacy line. This is the last of the 6 Dinobots. Yes, I said 6, and here he is in all of his glory. The figure is so cute and very Snarl. The yellow on the figure is not the brightest yellow, and I don't particularly care for it, but the silver is very nice. The plastic is the same plastic that all of these other figures have had, and overall it looks pretty good. The one thing you do have to remember, though, is that his back, or his backpack, actually comes off. This whole thing detaches, and I thought, oh, this could be a shield, but no, it's mainly used for the final combine mode. I love Snarl's head sculpt, and I would zoom in closer, but this always happens because my camera's old. And here's Snarl with all the other Dinobots. We have the crew. They're all ready to go. They're all ready to combine. On the whole, I think they all look pretty good. My only complaint is I wish Swoop was red, not blue. But then if it was, I'd be complaining, well, it's not animation accurate, because that's just the kind of people I am. The kind of people I am. Yes, good English IR. Now, in terms of posability, head does swivel side to side. There's a ball joint in the shoulder, a hinge joint in the elbow, no fist articulation. There is torso articulation, ball joint in the hip, and hinge joint in the knee, and it goes all the way because that's part of the transformation. Only issue I have in robot mode is that I don't think his heels are big enough because I just kind of go boop, and he falls over. I mean, there are heels here, but they're just not long enough. The figure also comes with this tiny little gray sword that is more of a pain in the butt than anything. It requires quite a bit of force to get it into either of the fists, and it requires an insane amount of force to actually peg it in Dino mode. And this is also an issue I'm having with this camera. It zooms out on me automatically. I've already fixed this like 3 times. This little guy's transformation is weird. To start off with, grab the head and turn it 180 degrees around, and then you can push the tails bits that are over his shoulder in, and they snap together. Fold the elbows up, and then there is this slot right behind the elbow, or right above the elbow, and it will peg into this gray peg inside the armpit, and that's where the rear of where the legs go, the rear legs specifically, like that. And then take the legs, splay them out, and then bend them about a little over 90 degrees, and you can reach inside the leg and flip out the dino face, like that. Bring them together and snap them in, and then fold that all up, and it will peg into the backpack, though I have a tendency to do this pretty poorly, and then there we go. You can then place the sword in this little hole inside the figure's belly, or what the robot mode's belly is, but don't. Because the one time I was able to get it in there, it was next to impossible to get it out. And that's because the paint has made the hole just too tight for this little nubbin. And you could sand the nubbin down a little bit, but I wouldn't even bother. Just plug it in up top. That just works better. And it will go in. It's very loose up there, but it will go in. The Dino mode we end up with is rough, man. I mean, it's rough. I mean, his face is practically pushing onto the ground, and the robot fists are clearly visible there. I like this Dino mode the least out of all of them. It's not a successful Dino mode, but given what they have to work with, and the spacing, and the overall look of Snarl, they did the best they could do. And here we have all our Dino boys. Slam, Sludge, Snarl, Slug, Grimlock, and Swoop. It's funny because Snarl has the most red on all of the figures, but he's lacking the gold paint over all of him. Like, his head is yellow, but it's not the same yellow as the other Dinobots that have painted yellow heads. And I suspect that's because of the giant Autobot symbol on the top of his noggin. And let me zoom in to these 2 guys so you can see what I'm talking about. These 2 guys, so you can see what I'm talking about. Yeah, the yellow on all the others in the head is the gold paint, where this is just the plastic. Though I do appreciate they painted the eyes. Everybody has the same painted eyes, and they're all baby blue, except for Swoop, who's like darkish blue. All right, let's talk about combinations. So, let's talk Snarl. First, unpeg the backpack. I'm going to fold him down like that. Come on, get out of there. And then come to the back here and flip up the combining port. Take the arms and legs and fold the arms straight out, and then fold them over, and they will peg together in front of the body of the robot mode like that. And then they'll peg in under here into what is the robot mode's crotch. And then we want to split the legs open, fold up the dino head like that, combine them back up, and fold them up until they peg into the slots where you peg the backpack in, and then you peg the backpack over top the arms. And that's what you end up with. The next leg is going to be formed by Grimlock. We pull the tail off, turn the fists, and then fold the shoulders in, and they will peg together like that. It'll stand up like this. Split the head open, fold it down, and you're supposed to take one of these and kind of fold it, that's the one, up like that. And then that is the other leg, like so. Next, coming down to Sludge and pretty much just transforming him back into robot mode. So get the legs folded out, get the torso spun around, flip the arms out, and then flip them up like that. And then the legs will actually fold the leg in and turn that around. Fold that in, turn that around. So you got the legs split open, and then there are peg holes on the tops of the knees. And that will peg in there. And then that will peg in here. And we're getting closer. Next up is Slug. So unpeg the gun. Then this is the funny part. Grab the legs and kind of flip them out just to get them out of the way. Come up to the wing sections for the robot mode and flip them out. Take the arms and point them straight back, and they will peg into like themselves like that. And then this whole dino like this is going to drop down. These pegs that are in his chest are going to peg into these peg holes on the sides of Sludge. And we'll just drop that down. And that cavity is going to, or the cavity on Sludge is going to fit Slug, or cavity on Slug is going to fit Sludge's head. Fold these up and peg the wrists, which have a big peg hole, into those pegs like that. And then the legs, we can then finally fold them back up to the way they were, sort of, and just leave it like so. Come to the gun and unpeg the head for Volcanicus and peg it into place. Take Slammy Boy, just pull the tail off, flip the legs around, put the legs straight up, come to this section and fold out the combiner port and turn it, and then grab the gun arm or fist and peg that into place, and turn the legs, because this guy is supposed to be the one, or the right arm, and this will peg into that fist hole on Sludge, like that. And then we get Swoop, unpeg his guns on the bottom of his legs, fold his legs down, reach under here and flip out his combiner port, which is a little bit hard to do. You could try pushing that piece. Nope, that's not going to do it. Hold on. Ah, there we go. Got it. And then fold up his wings. Take the fists that are the guns and smush them together. Once you got those combined, smush the fist, the top of the fist, into the leg. Turn the hips. And peg this whole thing into place. And this is the harder one. So I like to just get my finger in there and then peg that in. And then figure out what to do with these. And this. According to the directions, the bits that you have left over go specific places. Slug's tail goes right here and becomes the abdomen of the combined mode. Grimlock's tail gun can peg into what was his shins and stick out the back. And according to the directions, you're supposed to peg the sword into the spines in the front of the foot. Or he could wield it in as, his own little stabby knife in this giant robot mode. I'm looking for a better place to store the sword on the body, but that might be the best place for right now. Okay, on with the rest of the video. Look at this goofy goober. Yeah, it's just so stupid. I love it. I love how stupid it is. I did find a couple of places to peg in. Grimlock's gun can peg into what were his knees, and then the sword pegs into the tail, and then you peg the tail, or Slug's tail, into the back of Slug's legs. And you don't need to have this up. You can fold this whole section down like that, but I think that looks pretty bad, so I prefer to have it up like this. That's just a personal preference. You don't have to do that. I just prefer it that way. Or, before you peg it in, you can spin the hips around and then have the legs dangling down. That's another way you could do it. So I'll leave that up to your discretion. Posability-wise, this thing isn't really posable. You do have poses. I mean, there are joints here that you can pose, and everything is mostly tight, but the arms... the arms are kind of a mess, and these little hands are terrible. And then the legs are... they are what they are. You can get a bend at knee. You can get knee bends going, but it's not the best in the world. And size-wise, well, here's Voyager-class Starscream. It's roughly on par. No, it's on par with a Voyager-class figure. So, yeah, I do like it, though. I honestly do, and I'm really looking forward to the Monstructor repaint, which has been highly suggested. But still, I like what we have here. I honestly do. It's fun. Snarl by itself is just okay. But all of these guys together are fun, and God, they're so stupid. I can't help but love them. So folks, let me know what you think of this set down in the comments. What do you think of Snarl? What do you think of the Dinobots? What do you think of Volcanicus? Let me know down below. Thanks for watching. I've been Baltmatrix, and I'll catch you all next time.